Hey, what's going on, Scatterbrains? Thank you for coming back to another episode of Scatterbrains. See, my name is Travis, and today we're doing something different. YouTube notified me and let me know that I was not able to post to y'all, and I wasn't really sure how that worked. So then that's why I posted the post about like how are y'all doing. So I guess it's more like almost like a Facebook wall type thing. So I figured, let me just kind of test it out. And so after I saw how it worked, I said, well, let me just post, ask me anything, and I answer 100% honest and honestly. And so that's what I did. So y'all sent a nice amount of questions, which I'm happy about. So I'm gonna go through all the questions that y'all have asked me and give my 100% honest answer. And I think this is something I'll definitely want to do again in the future. So just be looking out for the next time that I post. Ask me anything. Maybe that's what we'll call it, because I asked what should I call it, but maybe we'll just call it Ask Me Anything Part 1. We'll see. I don't know. We'll figure out by the time I post it. So, in no particular order, Jessica Wright asks, how long have you been teaching? She asked me, how long have you been teaching? Do you guys want more children? What does your family and friends think of your YouTube channel? Do you have other ambitions beyond teaching? So, I have been teaching about nine or 10, not about 9 years. And this is my 8th year in this school district that I'm in right now. Do you guys want more children? We do want more children. If you've watched our videos about the whole pregnancy journey that we've gone through, having Tegan wasn't the easiest road for us. You never really realize how difficult it is to have children until you're actually trying to have children. It's always seems like the people who kind of just don't try, like it just happens like that. But it wasn't that easy for us. So if you haven't checked out those videos, you should definitely go check them out. We documented pretty much everything. No, we didn't document everything, but we kind of talked about everything that happened throughout the whole process. Just really quickly, my wife has endometriosis, and so that posed a lot of issues for her getting pregnant. So we have a whole video about that, and everything we did, all the measures we went through. We went through a lot of different things to try to get pregnant. Let's try to get her pregnant. And so yes, we do want more children, but if it's going to require us to go through everything we went through the first time, Tegan will be an only child. I don't want my wife to go through all of that all over again, because it definitely, taking medications and all of that kind of stuff, it really can weigh heavily on women who are trying to get pregnant, because it affects your psyche and all of that kind of stuff. And I don't want to put her through that again. So I'm perfectly content with one child. If God blesses us with more, cool. But as far as like actively trying the way that we did that time, we won't be going through those measures again. Her other question was, what does your family and friends think of your YouTube channel? I honestly don't know. I don't know if anyone in my family watches my YouTube. They don't care that I have a YouTube channel. I mean, just being honest. Most people that I know in real life don't care about my YouTube channel, and I'm okay with that. There are people that I used to work with that I knew would kind of watch it here and there, but for the most part, there's no one that I really know that watches my YouTube channel except for one person. And so, I don't really know what anybody thinks, but even if they did watch it, it would not affect what I say or how I am on YouTube. Her next question was, do you have any other ambitions beyond teaching? There are plenty of things that I love to do. I am an artist at heart. I mean, obviously, some of y'all know that I do paint, but I've also done a decent amount of acting, which is something that I would love to be able to do a lot more of. But since Tegan is here, time just does not permit me to do as much acting as I was doing. Maybe the year before she was born, and that year leading up to her, while my wife was pregnant, leading up to her entering the world. What the heck was I saying? I've done plays here in Charlotte. I've done them downtown at our theater district area. I did a independent film, some short films. I mean, a lot of that stuff is on YouTube. So if you go looking for it, you can definitely find it. So acting is something that I would love to do. But I do have to say that teaching is not my passion. I'm not one of those teachers who is just wakes up and eats and breathes and just all of that teaching. Like, that's just not who I am. At the core, I'm an artist. and I'm an artist who teaches. I'm not a teacher who does art. So I'm passionate about the arts and all facets of the arts, but I am not passionate about teaching. It's just something that I can do really well. All right. Jonesy said, do you enjoy reviewing these shows? You seem annoyed and fed up with these ridiculous people a lot of the time. I understand, but it kind of takes the wind out of my sails when you seem like you'd rather be doing anything else. Reviewing the shows are cool. It's a lot better when the shows have something interesting going on. Me and my wife started watching Manifest maybe a few weeks ago, and that's a show that if that show gets picked up for a second season, I'll probably review that show. And that's a scripted show because that show is just so different and it's so cool. But doing reviews are cool, but it's better when I'm like entertained by the show. You know, at this point with the Married at First Sight franchises, it's something that I can easily do, but they're doing the same thing. There's not much difference in them. And, you know, somebody I know asked about 90 Day Fiance. I can't, the 2 hours, I just cannot do the 2 hours. Like the show is interesting, but if the show was an hour, I would stay with it. But like I said, giving up 2 hours of my life on a Sunday night just is not hitting on anything. All right, Double E asked, how old are you? How long have you been married? What do you like to do besides YouTube? So I already answered the last question, but I am 30. I don't think I've ever said my age on my channel, but I am 30. I'll be 31 next month in December. And we've been married 3 years. Well, I mean, yeah, I just said that in the video. We've been married 3 years last week. I don't even know what today's date is. I think it was last week was our anniversary. Maybe the week before last. What's today's date? We got married on the 7th of November. So whenever that was, we've been married for 3 years. Brangie Bennett asked me, do you believe in marriage counseling? And if so, is it something you only do when trouble arises or continuously to keep foolishness from popping up? Being proactive and not reactive. I do believe in marriage counseling. I believe in premarital counseling. Me and my wife did premarital counseling with her pastor. We had about, I want to say maybe 3 sessions. I might be wrong. Might have had more than that. But I think that counseling in general is something that everybody should do. You know, therapy in general is something that I believe we all can benefit from. I'm actually really considering finding a therapist to talk to just for myself. And then trying to find a therapist that me and my wife can talk to, because I think that there are things that we both brought into the marriage that are not necessarily worked out. And I think that just as human beings, you're continuously growing, you're continuously evolving, and there's nothing wrong with talking to someone who can help you maneuver life a little bit better. So I definitely believe in counseling. I believe if you're going to go down the road of marriage, which is a difficult road to go down, if you're gonna go down that road, get some help from somebody professionally. That's what I believe. And I think doing it proactively, it can have I don't think there's anything negative that can come of being proactive and going to get counseling and not just going to get it when an issue comes up. Because there's nothing wrong with just checking in. You know, and you don't necessarily have to go to counseling to check in. You can just check in weekly, monthly, quarterly with not even your spouse. You can do this with the person that you're in a relationship with. Just take a moment, take a night, a couple of minutes, and just check in with each other to see how each other are. See how each other are. That doesn't sound right. See how each other is. I think that's better. See how each other is. See how you're feeling. Are there any concerns that you have? Me and my wife, we used to do it, but we don't really do it anymore. I mean, because honestly, you know, life happens and it's really easy to fall into a routine after you get married. So that's something that I know I need to work on, and we need to work on. It's just checking in more often to see kind of where the other person is mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Because I mean, you know, if you're going to be stuck with someone, not stuck, if you're going to be in someone else's space for this amount of time, you need to try to make sure that you're doing the best you can and the most you can for that person, you know, and vice versa, and getting that in return. So I believe you should be proactive when it comes to relationships in general. Jennifer D asked, how has parenting changed you? And do you want more kids? So I've already answered that one. I don't know if parenting has necessarily changed me. I love it. I enjoy being Tegan's dad. She is just an amazing little girl, and I'm just so grateful that God blessed me with her. But I don't know if I can say that it changed me in a sense. I mean, you know, obviously parenting wouldn't change anyone for the worse, but I don't know if it would change me for the better. I'm still weird and goofy and silly with her, and she has my personality. So, you know, Carmen's gonna get it 2 times over. But I don't necessarily know how it's changed me. I think I might pull Carmen in here in a little bit and have her answer some of these questions, because, you know, maybe she'll give you a different perspective on me than me. Jessica Wright asked, as a man of faith, what made you fall for your wife and consider her life partner material? So in an old video that we did, I talked about Carmen and I knew each other in college, and this was like 2008. And, you know, we both were not in a place to be in a serious relationship with each other. She was doing her thing and I was doing my thing. Like, Carmen was around the time when I realized that I can't deal with multiple people at the same time. I don't understand how people can date multiple people at the same time. I couldn't have options when it came to dating, because I'll never forget. See, I've made videos about all these kinds of things, but, you know, a lot of y'all are new to my channel, so y'all probably haven't made it that far back to listen to these stories. But a while back, in my younger days when I was in college, living life, I was the other guy. And I did a whole video about it, talked about how it happened, talked about what I learned. But I was the other guy, and I was content being the other guy. But then I got to a point where I didn't want to be the other guy anymore. I wanted to be the main guy. So I was trying to, like, wean myself off of this girl and kind of wean her off of me, because we were attached, because, you know, I put that juice on her. But somebody's gonna take that the wrong way, but whatever. But so I was trying to, like, separate myself from that situation, because I knew it wasn't the best thing for me. So in the time that I had separated myself from that situation, I met Carmen. Carmen was in what you call the pit of our campus, standing with someone that I knew. And me being the smooth, suave person I am, I said, you know what, I'm gonna go talk to the person that I know so I can talk to Carmen. So I'm gonna make it seem like I'm going to talk to her friend, but I'm really coming to talk to her. So I went over and, you know, I introduced myself and all of that kind of stuff. So maybe, and we kind of started talking from there. So maybe like a week later, there was this house party that I was going to, and I knew that the girl that I was a side dude for said she was going with me to the party. Like, she had already stated that, hey, I'm going with you to this party. Okay, cool. I mean, you know, that's fine. I mean, our situation was what it was. And then Carmen hit me up and was like, hey, I'll see you at the party. And I was like, okay. Because for the majority of my life, I have not had options. And, you know, and that wasn't even a situation where I had options, but y'all are going to see why I brought that up. But I'll never forget the one time I did have options. I knew that I had to just pick one. There was 3 girls who expressed interest in me, who I was really interested in, all 3 of them. And they all at the same time within days said that they were interested in me. And I had to just pick one to go with. But never had it been like, okay, there's 2 people in my life at the same time that I'm kind of dealing with or anything like that. So I was at this party, and like I said, I came with the one girl whose name, you know, I won't say. And, you know, we were just sitting, chilling, you know, like jamming in my seat. And, you know, she's not really paying attention to anything. And then Carmen walks in, and Carmen comes and sits down on the other side of me. So imagine me in a party. It's not dark, but lights ain't on. So I got one girl on one side, one girl on the other side, and they don't know anything about the other person, because, mind you, the girl that I was a side dude for, she believed like I was her campus boo. I was her campus boyfriend, you know, just to put it frankly. And Carmen obviously didn't know about that situation. So I'm sitting in the party trying to enjoy myself, but both of them are like leaned up on me. So like the one girl is on this side and Carmen's on the other side, and I'm just in this party like, oh my gosh, what am I supposed to do? I got 2 girls who I'm interested in are both like here and on me, and they don't know nothing about the other. Like, this could go bad really fast. And my good friend Danietta, still cool with today, she knew the situation, and she wasn't anybody that I was dealing with. She was just cool, like a sister. And she saw my face in the party. Like I'm sitting there and I'm like, so she like walks up and says, hey, let's dance. And she gets me and takes me and we go dance. And she was like, I saw that you was in a situation, had to get you up out of it. I was like, I appreciate it. That was the moment I knew I could not deal with multiple people at the same time. I can't live a life like that. Wondering like, are you gonna know about this person? Like, even if it was a case where you were being like upfront and saying, hey, I date multiple people, I just can't give my time like that. Like, I can't keep up with that many people. Like, there's some people who are like serial daters and you date like multiple, 5, 6, 7 people at a time. This person on Monday, this person on Tuesday, different person on Wednesday. I could never do that. If I was single, I could never do that because I get attached too quickly. I fall, not in love, but like I fall for people too quickly. And I just could not imagine myself having to make a choice between people. I don't want that for myself. So what was the point of that whole? Oh, I was talking about me and Carmen. So, so that's how we met. Then we decided that, you know, we weren't in a space to do anything. You know, she was, like I said, still doing her thing. I was doing mine. So we separated. And when I separated, and then, you know, we both got in our serious relationships. And then years later, we reconnected through Facebook. And earlier in that year, I had tickets to the Lion King, but I wasn't really sure who, Lion King, the Broadway show, the tour. I wasn't sure who I was going to take. I just knew that I was going to find somebody to go. So then I asked Carmen to go with me. And that night, it was a bad storm because she lived in a different city, but it was like an hour away. And her mom told her that she didn't want her driving. So she stayed at my house, which for me, I'm like, hey, she stayed, even though nothing was going to happen because that's not the kind of guy I am. So we just stayed up and we talked all night. And it was at that night, laying in bed, even though we weren't doing nothing, laying in bed, cuddled up, just talking, that I knew she was the woman that I was going to marry. I can't tell you how I knew, why I knew. It was just something that came over me. And I truly believe it was God telling me that that is your wife. And, you know, I was like, I had a strong feeling this is the girl I'm going to marry. And it was crazy because we hadn't even been talking that long. Like, we had reconnected for maybe 2 weeks at the most. And it was just so strange for me to have that feeling. So I just kind of took that feeling, put it in the back of my head, and didn't think anything of it. And I just kind of watched to see how our relationship progressed. Our values lined up. The things we wanted in life lined up. Personality-wise, it lined up as well. So those are the different factors and the things that helped to solidify that feeling that I had. So I ended up buying the ring in May. I didn't give it to her until a year from that date. But the way that I knew she was the one, she was the life partner that I wanted, was just our values lined up, our personality lined up. We meshed. She wasn't bad on the eyes. And, you know, we wanted the same things and we were going in the same direction. And I think that that's something that you just got to find out early on when you're trying to get to know somebody, when you feel like you're trying to build with somebody, is you got to make sure y'all are both building the same thing. Because there are so many different kinds of houses in a neighborhood, you know, real talk. You know, you got 1 stories, you got 2 stories, you got 4 bedrooms, you got 3 bedrooms. And you got to make sure that the foundation that you are building with somebody else, that this foundation is going to withstand the same kind of house that you're trying to build. Because I think that where people mess up the most is that, yeah, y'all are building, but are you building the same thing? That's really the question that you need to ask. Are y'all heading in the same direction? You know what I mean? It's one thing to be headed north, but it's one thing for you to be going northwest and me to be going northeast. I don't know if any of this is making any sense, but my advice, even though anybody asked for it, my advice for anybody who's getting to know someone, for number one, you need to have a purpose. Have a purpose for why you're dating people. I always knew I wanted to get married, and I always knew I wanted to have children. I've known that since I was like 13. But you need to have a purpose. What are you working towards right now? Because, I mean, you know, for me, when I'm painting a picture, the end goal is the picture I have in my mind. So as I'm painting, every stroke is leading to this picture. So when you're dating, every single thing you do, every conversation, every date, every life event that happens in the dating process, all of that should be helping to move y'all in the direction of the same common goal. And that goal doesn't have to be marriage. That goal can maybe just be, I'm looking for a committed life partner. But whatever it is, y'all need to be building the same kind of house. So Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. The Adventurous Daydreamer asked a few questions. So, okay, she said, Travis, have you ever thought about becoming a real life coach? I have not thought about becoming a real life coach. I don't know what you have to do to become a real life coach. I don't know if you have to go to like Ian Van Zant's School of Life Coaching, but I don't know if it's something that I believe I will be good at. I think I can give advice based on things that I've been through, but I think when it comes to things that I haven't been through, I don't know if I can be of any value to anybody. I've had a lot of experience in relationships, so that's why I enjoy talking about that the most, because that's what I've had the most experience in. But I'm not opposed to it, but I think that this YouTube thing has allowed me to not be, would not call myself a life coach, but it's allowed me to reach people who I probably never would have had a conversation with. And I hope that at the end of the day, that when y'all are watching my videos, that you get something from it, whether it's a review or whether it's a video like this. I hope that there's just a little pearl, just a little nugget or something that you can take and apply to your life that'll help make your life a little bit easier, so that you don't have to go through things that I've been through or something that somebody else on TV has been through. But you know, it'd be an interesting idea to see Travis, the life coach. Her next question was, any advice for the singles on how to get married but not through Married at First Sight? And I feel like this is such a difficult thing, more so for women, because for men, and you know, y'all can let me know if I'm wrong in this, but to me, it seems like men hold all the cards when it comes to marriage. You know, we kind of have to decide, I'm going to marry you, because traditionally a man proposes to a wife. I do not agree with or believe that a woman should propose to a man, but that's just me. You know, some of y'all do it and that's cool, but I don't know. But I think it sucks because there are so many women who desire to be married and who want committed relationships, and they're just not able to find a guy who wants the same thing. Because the truth of the matter is, there's some F-boys out here, you know what I mean? And I don't necessarily associate myself with any of them, but I see them and their game is smooth. They got it down pat, and they're really able to steal a lot of valuable time from great people who want something serious. So the advice that I would give a single person who wants marriage, the advice I would give a single woman who wants marriage, because she didn't say gender, but I'm going to say a single woman. Obviously, patience is something that's going to be easily said, but not easily practiced. But you're going to have to practice patience. And I'm going to relate everything to God because, you know, I am a Christian and I believe God is in control. You have to come to grips with the idea of what God has for you is for you. And there is not a single thing that any person on this earth can do to take it away or to give it. You see what I'm saying? If it's in God's plan, if it's in God's will for your life to be married, you will be married. If it's in God's will for you not to be, you won't. You see what I'm saying? And that's just in general one of the things that is the hardest to get on the same page with, is just aligning the things that I want in my life with what's best for my life. You know what I mean? Because there are plenty of things that we want for ourselves that's not necessarily going to be good for us. But the thing is, marriage, I think, is just one of those. Marriage and children, I think, are one of those big things that really are just stand out as like life goals. And unfortunately, it's not for everybody. But if you do want to get married, do not go on Married at First Sight. That's just, you know, my number one advice at the top of the list. Don't go on Married at First Sight. But it's to be patient, to work on yourself while you're waiting in the hallway. You know, before that door opens or before you open that door, work on you. Because, and this will probably lead into her next question about John Gray, but I just do not believe that no one is complete. No one is whole, okay? But there is a such thing as having enough pieces, you know, to be a secure person, to be a secure individual. And I think it's important that single people find themselves first before they try to find somebody else. You know, like, who are you? If you can't answer that question, to me, you're not ready for marriage, let alone ready for a serious relationship. I had to figure out as an adult, who was Travis? Carmen and I got together when I don't even know. Ain't no point in me saying, because I really don't know. But I had to figure out who I was before I got with her. And before I dated certain people, like, I knew what I wanted in life. I knew what I wanted for myself. I knew what the vision was for my life. I knew what my values were. I had all of that down pat. And granted, those things change, but you got to have a secure sense of you. And you got to have some self-esteem that's not going to be easily wavered. Because people come and go. You know what I mean? And you got to know that when someone enters your life, if they leave, you going to be okay. And the only way I feel like to ensure that is to be okay before them. Because if you're broken, if you're incomplete to a certain extent, allowing a thing to fill that void will not be beneficial to you. So being patient, I think, is important. Working on yourself. Enjoy the time of being single. And I mean, I know companionship is, a big thing for a lot of people, because it was for me. But you just got to be patient and pay more attention to your surroundings and the people that you surround yourself with. Now, let me say this to all the women as a guy, a good guy. Stop overlooking us, okay? Stop overlooking the good guys. We don't come packaged the way that sometimes you want us to. We don't come packaged with the bright, shiny bow, whatever is on the list, that a lot of y'all make, or that a lot of us make, rather. If we don't come packaged with everything on that list physically, we get overlooked. And that was my story for a long time. A lot of people wouldn't pay me any attention because I didn't look like whatever, it was they wanted me to look like. And, a lot of the ladies who overlooked me are, they're not all that great right now. But if you've been dating the same kind of guy and things haven't been changing, try something different. That's another piece of advice I can give. I just believe that if it's intended for you to be married, you will be married, and it's going to be for the guy to find you. I don't think that women should go out looking for a husband. Not necessarily that I think a guy should go looking for a wife, but I guess that makes more sense. But I just think that you have to understand that you are the treasure. When pirates are looking for booty, no pun intended, the booty stays in one place, and it is sought after. It's not seeking. So just be patient, be still, get to know yourself, surround yourself with some great friends, and be open to what love looks like, because it might not look the way that you think it should. That was a really long answer. Her next question was, did you hear from the casting in Charlotte? I have not heard from casting. I don't expect to, because I've dogged the show out so many times. I really think that they're hoping they don't run into me. I still want to find out when they do that day, they do their matchmaking thing. I want to find out where they are. They're probably going to be at the Charlotte Convention Center. I would love to just pop up and see if they know who I am, but, I don't have any single people who are actually going. Then her last question for this one was, do you think they will find good singles there? You can find good singles everywhere, but I just hope nobody's on there that I know, because I'm still gonna talk about them regardless. All right, and her last question was, what are your thoughts on the Pastor Gray comments about marriage and manhood? And then she asked about, would I catch up on 90 Day Fiancé or Happily Ever After? No. So Pastor John Gray, he was an associate pastor at Joel Osteen's church in Texas. He's now pastoring a church in South Carolina. And my wife and I watch a lot of his sermons. I enjoy him as a pastor. I don't really get into, and I enjoy his show on Oprah's network. But I have learned to separate pastors from personal, like, you can deliver a great message in the pulpit, but I don't have to agree with everything you say as far as like giving your personal opinion about stuff. But so I had to go searching to figure out what it was that she was talking about. And he went on Sister Circle, which is a TV talk show. And he talked about how, I want to play the clip, but I don't want this video to get flagged. So if you go look up his most recent appearance on Sister Circle, the TV show, and I'll probably just leave the link down in the comments, in the description, with the timestamp of where the section is that everybody is kind of talking about. So in the video, he talks about how his wife was 2 sizes too big for him. So he was pretty much saying that, and I might be paraphrasing this wrong, he was talking about how his wife had to grow him into the man that he is, and how she's experienced more pain doing that than she did birthing their actual children. So a lot of people had problems with that statement because they felt like that was him saying that's what women should do. Now, I think that that's one of the main issues that a lot of people have as far as listening and interpreting what people are saying. Is I did not take that as him talking about women, this is what you should do. I took that as him saying the testimony for him and his wife. Like, that's what they did, that's what worked for them. And what works for one person does not work for everybody. Now, do I believe it's a woman's job to raise a man? No. Just like I said, I believe that when you come into a relationship, when you come to the table, you need to be together. You need to have your stuff together as best you can. And nobody's whole, nobody's perfect, but your cup got to be 85% full. You know what I mean? But it is not a woman's responsibility to make a man into a man. A man should be a man on his own. And I think that that's one of the issues that a lot of us in the Black community face, is that there's too many women dealing with men who are just like boys in big man's clothes. And you're trying to fix them and trying to make them better for whatever reason. And it's just a cycle that continues because you have so many children in single parent homes. You have so many children in broken homes, even with 2 parents. And, you know, we're just not, we're doing ourselves disservices when we continue to perpetuate the stereotypes that we're just making true right now. Yeah, I think all of that kind of goes hand in hand with my views on how you should be entering into a relationship. I think that you gotta come to the table with everything together, and you know, you go from there. But I would not ever believe that it makes sense for me to enter into this marriage with Carmen and expect her to make me into a man. Now, in marriage, she's made me a better man, and I believe I've made her a better woman. But it wasn't either of our responsibilities to make the other person into the man or the woman. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Now, my life was great without her. My life is better with her. And that's how it should be. Spouses, partners should enhance what you already have, not create what you didn't have. So that's just my thoughts. Let me see, did I want to pull her in here to answer these questions? Carmen. Hold on, y'all. I know y'all haven't seen her in a long time. So let's see. Ooh-wee.
My hair.
Ooh-wee.
Looks a little rough.
You got to talk a little bit louder because they're going to be able to hear you talking like that.
My hair looks a little rough.
They're not going to hear you talking like that. All right, so let's see. Has parenting changed you? They asked me this, and I didn't. I don't know. Do you think parenting has changed me?
Yeah.
How?
Because you're a sucker for TT.
But that hasn't changed me.
It has.
That's just how I respond to her. I said no. I don't think it's like changed who I am. It just changed my title.
I mean, you're mushy.
You think so?
Yeah.
What you say? Because I like milk?
Yes.
But that's to her. Like, I don't. But like, if I like melted to stuff, like we saw like some flowers, and I was like, oh, look at those flowers. They're not gonna understand that. But I'm saying, like, in general, I would say I'm the same level of mushy that I've always been. TT aside.
I don't think so.
Oh.
But parenting, I don't think it has changed me. What?
Oh, I was just listening to you.
I don't think it's changed me. I mean, it's just made me like look at things differently.
What you mean?
Like I'm more cautious. Like, okay, what would benefit Tegan?
Oh, because she lived a life that I wasn't even in camera. She lived a life of how would I describe it? Like you didn't think before you acted. Like she would just pop off. You know what I mean? Like if something happened, she would just, just react without thinking. So I guess, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, she has changed. But she's still working on it. It's a work in progress. What made you fall for me and consider me your life partner? I know y'all asked me these questions, but I figured why not just ask her? Some people ask, "Where's Carmen?" You have no idea.
I was just playing.
Oh.
I mean, I feel for your personality. Like you was very persistent, and you stayed true to yourself.
Now, would you say that you made me into this man that I am?
No.
Okay, would you say I made you into the woman that you are?
No.
Okay, would you say we enhanced each other?
Yes.
Okay, so that's what I said, that I don't think that it's the other person's responsibility to make you into anything. They're supposed to just enhance what's already there.
Yeah.
Because that was...
I mean, because I feel like I was already a whole person, but my family, you and TT, like, made it complete.
Well, it was you...
I mean, not like complete, but like it's just fulfilled other aspects of life.
Somebody asked me what was my advice for singles on how to get married, but not through Married at First Sight. What do you think? What was it like for you? How did you end up getting married? What made you change?
Life.
Oh, what happened?
We're not gonna get into all of that, but
Oh, why not?
I was a little out there in my younger days.
A little.
So I just got to a point where I was just like, okay, you want different, so you have to be different. So I had to stop doing what I was doing.
Cotton.
Look at myself and change myself. I had to work on myself before I could accept somebody who was not looking for the same thing that I used to look for. So that's what I did. Like I just cut everybody off, worked on myself, and me and Travis, we known each other for years, but this particular day, like I just hit him up and just was like, hey, what's going on? And we've been talking ever since.
Yeah, I told a story about the party that I was at. That
Where you was starting?
I was not. I wasn't sleeping with y'all.
No, you wasn't.
So then I wasn't
But
thotting.
yes, you was.
How?
You was. I don't know. I think TT's waking up. Hold on, I'll be right back.
I was not thotting. To thought, you have to engage in certain activities, and those I was not. I guess we get another special guest. Come here. Oh, you don't want me?
But you were being a little Casanova.
No.
Like, you was talking to me and you said you was in a situation.
I was.
That you had to get out of.
I was trying to get out of that situation.
Okay, situation.
But did I tell you that then?
No.
I didn't.
No. I didn't know you was in a situation.
Because the situation, to my knowledge, was over before we started talking.
How was it over?
What you mean, how's it over? We had, like, stopped dealing with each other. And then...
And then what?
It just kind of started happening again. So, yeah. All right, well...
Those were the only questions you had?
did you have any questions? Comments on the Pastor Gray thing? About,
I mean, from what I heard in the interview, like he wasn't saying like that's what everybody had to do. Like that's not what everybody's marriage is. That's just what happened in their marriage, and that's the role that she took in their marriage. But I don't feel like he was saying that
that's what
for
women should
every marriage. That's what a woman should do. She should have to raise a man, or he has to raise his wife, or whatever the case may be. Like that was just their situation in their household.
Right, and that's what I said. I don't think he was trying to advise women, and I would not advise women or men to try to. I would not advise men or women to try to raise anybody other than your own kids.
What you talking about, TT?
All right, well, that's it for Ask Me Anything with a special appearance from Carmen and Tegan. Tegan had her 1-year checkup today, and she had to get 3 shots, so she's probably not feeling her best. Ain't that right, baby girl? But so y'all take it easy. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving.
Silly.
So happy Thanksgiving to all the scatterbrains out there. I'll probably do this again sometime in the future. I don't know when, so just be looking out for a post when I'm asking for questions. Make sure you remember to right, yeah.
The 2 big kids in the family.
Make sure you remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Share if you feel like it. And I'll be talking to y'all later, y'all. Peace.
Say bye.
Say bye-bye, TT. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye.
You just go smile.
Okay, that's as
That's
good as I'm
we
gonna
gonna
get. All right, bye, y'all.